If you participate in a book club like I do, then chances are your group together chooses a book, and then you come back after a designated period of time when everybody's had a chance to read the book, and you discuss it. In the book that I read this week, the group has formed a literary society, and this is a society in which all of the members theoretically read beneficial and good literature, but they're all reading different things. And then they meet once a week, and one person presents the book that they read and brings questions for discussion and tries to convince the other members of the group to read that book. Let me see if I can convince you in under 5 minutes to read this book. The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows is historical fiction, which happens to be my favorite genre. It is set in 1946, which is just right after World War II, and the main character, Juliet, is a writer who is kind of stuck looking for what she wants her next book to be when she is contacted by a man who lives in Guernsey, and he has a secondhand copy of a book that has her name in it, and he was contacting her. He loved the author, Charles Lamb, and was contacting her to say, you know, do you know any more books by this author? Do you know any books about this author? Because she lived in London, he lived in Guernsey, which is an island in the British Channel, and he didn't have access to the book, so he was hoping maybe she could help him out. This gentleman and Juliet take up a correspondence, and she learns about their literary society, which was formed during the war. Guernsey was occupied by German forces during World War II, so this literary society was formed sort of by accident, but it became a source of comfort and a source of maybe relief during a time that was otherwise very terrible. Juliet begins corresponding with other members of the society and forges a bond with them, and eventually actually goes to Guernsey to visit them and finds the subject for her next book. This novel is actually a book of letters, making it a fairly quick and easy read. But don't mistake that for simplistic. It's not simplistic at all. Through the letters, you hear about all of the struggles that come along with war, and particularly living in an area that is occupied. You hear about the rationing, the hunger that occurs, in this case, the children who had to be evacuated to England for 5 years, and the struggles that the parents had. As you read, you kind of sit on the sidelines and watch as these deep friendships are formed, and really the members of the society become like a family as they help each other through these hard times. And you also get to see the power of a good book and how it has the ability to really transform lives. I think it's hard to talk about a novel without giving too much away, so I don't want to say too much. Plus, I said that this video would be under 5 minutes, but I will say that it is, despite the subject matter, it is really a delightful read. It is really a feel-good book. One quote I do want to share with you, it's actually in Juliet's first letter back to the gentleman in Guernsey. She said, "That is what I love about reading. One tiny thing will interest you in a book, and that tiny thing will lead you on to another book, and another bit there will lead you on to a third book. It's a geometrically progressive, all with no end in sight, and for no other reason than sheer enjoyment." I find that to be so true, that one book leads to another book, leads to another book. After reading this book, there are a number of books that I could read that I would be interested in reading. However, my book club has actually decided to read The Women, and so I will pass on those books, and I have 1 week to read The Women, which is great because I have never been disappointed by Kristen Hanna. So, how about it? Did I convince you to read the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have watched this whole video, thank you so much. I hope you have a great week and happy reading.